Hey, what's up guys, it's Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is our community video, and the video that it's going to be based upon is earlier this week when I was talking about Libra Souls and has my mind changed on it. So we're going to be covering that video, and once again guys, if you want to be featured in one of my community videos, just leave a comment on my videos because I'll pick one video randomly every week, and at the end of the week I will feature those comments. Roxas3Store XXX says, first comment boy! And thank you for having that comment. I always enjoy seeing the people that comment on the videos first. Those are usually fun. It's even more hilarious when you see 8 people in a row do first, and it's just a line of firsts on your comment section. That's crazy to me. But thank you for the comment as always, and let's move on. Ashton Bird says, I agree with you all completely. You all make very valid points. Hopefully, if we get the next Soul Calibur game, I will want to see story mode with custom characters because it was an interesting idea and was pretty unique. How the story incorporated certain things from the lore was interesting, and still hoping for Algol in the next season pass if we get one, and I hope we do get Lizardman or Aeon in this game. As we've covered in other videos, I know some of you disagree with me, which I will feature if I'm proven wrong, but I think Algol is a shot in the dark at this point. As well as Viola, I think that it's probably most likely going to be Yoon Sung, and there's a lot that points more towards Yoon Sung being in the game alongside of Hwang Sung-gyung, like in Libra of Souls, and in interviews with Morihiro Okubo, just little tidbits that he said, and the data in the game itself, and a bunch of other underlying factors that point towards potential evidence of Yoon Sung being the character for Star as opposed to Algol. But if you guys still want to hold on hope, I can understand why, and I'm not going to dismay that. I just have to keep it real with you guys. That's what I usually try to do. Diamond Jefferson says, while Libra of Souls is a pretty good mode to add, I hope that they can put all the bonus characters in Soul Calibur 3 in Libra of Souls mode, interacting with the stuff I've seen. Miser as a bonus character in Soul Calibur 3 in that mode, so why not do it with most of the other characters? I agree too. I would love to come across Shura or something like that. Alongside of Miser, I've also seen Arthur in there, who is also a bonus character from Soul Calibur 3. There may have been a few others because I haven't completely beaten Libra of Souls yet. I've beaten the story mode, but there's still a ton of battles that I want to do. I want to finish everything completely 100% before I move on and do it again with another character. So I still haven't completely done everything. I have unlocked a bunch of the stuff for the museum that adds to the lore, and I will go over that with a fine-tooth comb, but I wanted to make sure that I beat the Libra of Souls mode 100% first. But I agree. Patriots1112 says, when Lizardman is talked about being in the story mode, get him in the game already. Lizardman was always my fun secondary. Lizardman is fun. The difference being, though, a lot of people keep talking about lore stuff with Lizardman and Soul Calibur 1 and pre-Soul Calibur 5 stuff, but we have to remember that the Lizardman from those generations was literally just one of the generic soldiers. Aeon is actually a specific different character. Aeon and Lizardman are not co-equal, they're not synonymous. Aeon is his own person within the Lizardman race. And if you see mostly other regular generic Lizardmen, the ones with Sophitius weapons and the one with the shield and the axe and stuff like that, those are all just soldiers in the Lizardman army. But Aeon is his own character. I just wanted to clear that up because a lot of people keep calling him Aeon from back in the previous Soul Calibur games, and that's just not the case. So we're going to move on after that. SolarFlare95 says, wow, do I really sound like that? Cringe. Also, the new intro is headbanging, bro. So, I really like the new intro. I got stuck on this YouTube channel called 10 Second Songs after watching it on him do a video with Rumi Official. So, if you guys want to go check him out, the links are in my description box, and I have a link to the song that I have in my intro at the end of my end card. It's actually Bad Guy, that girl, I forget her name, but it's actually Bad Guy, and it's covered by 10 Second Songs in the style of Breaking Benjamin, the rock group. So I thought it was actually an improvement on the song because, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Billie Eilish is the one who does the original Bad Guy song. I'm just not into the whole whisper singing thing. Maybe I'm too old school. I mean, they do say the human brain usually attaches onto things that you learn during child and young adulthood, being a teenager. So at that time, I was listening to mainly like metal and then like trance. So maybe that's like why that stuff is stuck in my head as being my type of music, and all this new post-millennial stuff is kind of iffy to me. I like some of it, but I don't know. I prefer this version of the song. But thanks again. Caliber75 the Gamer says, yes, I've been waiting for this video. I've completed it 100% on good and dark and got all of the titles, all the secret fights, and mastered every style. So I've enjoyed hearing these 3 different opinions on this mode. Great video, and I really enjoyed it. Well, thank you, Caliber, for the awesome compliment, and you must have put a lot of time into Libra if you 100%ed it. You do get stuck on your first playthrough in Chapter 4, because that's when like you have to utilize Soul Charge in order to get past certain missions. But I definitely like found it useful after the frustration set off, because I learned how to play the game better, I would like to say. So when I'm actually like playing against other people now, I utilize Soul Charge far more often than I usually like utilize Critical Edge, unless I have more than 1 meter build up, and then I'll combine them at the end of like a meter bar of Soul Charge. So thanks for the comment, and good on you for doing that. Congratulations. I hope to get there soon. It's just hard to find the time to put that much time into it. Isaiah Raw says, I do like Libra of Souls, but it really missed a great opportunity with the unlockables like gear and others. That's kind of a misnomer and a little bit of a straw man argument, because there is a lot of unlockables in the mode itself. It's not exactly like unlocking like no content. Some of it, true, is unlocking stuff specifically for the mode, like certain weapons and stuff like that, but there are unlockables for the museum. I believe there's actually a lot of unlockables in that mode. Like, it seems like every time you're beating something, you're unlocking something. So it's just like not in the way of gear, because the way they went about gear this time is everything's unlocked off the jump, except for the DLC stuff, obviously, and a few of the pieces were locked behind, like, using points. But besides that, like, everything was unlocked, like, off the bat. For me, it would have been nice if, like, when you encounter certain specific characters that aren't in the story mode, that are obviously in-game generated and used with the creation parts to be able to create them, I would have liked to be able to unlock them for your creative character slots, like not in the slots that you create, but in your customized slots, because there's also 100 slots for customized. So let's say you go up against Arthur, and you beat Arthur in that story mode or whatever, or you help him or whatever, and it says that you unlocked him and you can download him in your customized slots if you so choose. That would have been something that I think would have really helped the game mode out a lot, and I agree with you with that aspect. That would have been really fun to be able to do something like that. Metal Raptor says, I haven't played enough of Libra of Souls to comment all that much on it, favorably or disfavorably. One thing I can say is that in favor of Libra of Souls is that in Soul Calibur 2 you picked one of the roster characters and it had a generic story, unrelated to the actual character that you picked. But with Soul Blade, they had actual stories for each character. One other plus is that it's not Soul Calibur 5 story mode. Yeah, Soul Calibur 5 was pretty lackluster with its story mode. As we all know, like, the budget for that game was horribly cut in the beginning of its like life cycle, so they chopped out a vast majority of the story and pretty much stuck it to like Patroclus and Pyrrha, which was one aspect of the game that a lot of we Soul Calibur fans did not like, and I think most of us played that endless card battle creation mode when we're actually playing that game. Soul Calibur 4 did a similar thing to Soul Calibur 2, just a little bit more of a less generic way. Like, you use your create a character, and like depending on the ending, you can either get Soul Edge, Soul Calibur, or like a neutral ending. So I do like that sort of thing as well, but I think that should be relegated more towards like an arcade style mode as opposed to the actual story mode itself. I think the story mode's main goal should be expanding upon lore, because this game has a lot of lore and it's trapped under a lot of other games that like people haven't played besides the mainline series games, and I think it needs to come to light. Karyakal says, I really should go back and complete Libra of Souls now that they made some changes to it. I would actually recommend going back and playing it. I was against it at first, but after putting, I think now I have about 30 hours into the mode, I actually really like it. And I find myself spending more time actually playing Libra of Souls now than I do anything else in the game, which used to be in the character creator and, you know, messing around with stuff online. But now I spend a lot of time in Libra of Souls. There's a lot of battles to unlock. I'm not even sure I've unlocked all of them. There's different endings, I guess, and there's also different, like, paths you can go towards, like, a light path or a dark path. There's just a lot of things involved in that, and a lot of hidden lore that, like, really makes it worthwhile to play. And I really am glad that I gave it a second chance. Thanks, Matt. He really pushed me into getting to play it again, and I appreciate him for that, and I really like the game mode now. So I really think it is something worthwhile to delve into. And our last comment here is by TY Queen. And they said, I beat this mode twice. My problem with it is that all the dialogue, it's all dialogue and no voiceover. And I didn't know I could zoom out at first on the map. And I didn't know that I can skip everything. So at first I was just fighting everyone around the map and read all the dialogue, so my first playthrough took me around 35 hours. My second time beating the game took me 3 hours. Also, there's a huge difficulty spike in Chapter 4. It's easy once you learn how to use Soul Charge, so that's a positive and a negative. The game made me learn how to get better. That being said, it was frustrating for a while until I learned. I think fights where the ground was slippery was dumb and pretty much a joke. I like the different weapons and the options the game gives you, and I like mercenaries, but a lot of them suck. This mode has a lot of potential. The Ancient was hard to beat, even at level 99, but I beat one of them. I'm not going to go into the Ancients, because that's kind of spoiler territory. But what I will say is that I completely mirror the sentiments of this comment. I was entirely frustrated at first too, especially with the slippery modes. I used to enjoy slippery modes, especially in like Tower of Souls and stuff like that. But the slippery modes in this game are ridiculous. Like, if you like make one wrong move, like, you're flying off the edge. And it's more often the computer reads, even if the AI flies off first, they'll like say that you lost. And some of those battles are like you're fighting like 3 or 4 people in a row. So if you beat all of them and you get to the last guy and you still slip off or slide off accidentally, like, that doesn't matter. It's just like you're restarting. Those were probably the missions I had to restart the most, even over the Soul Charge missions. I think the hardest mission where you get the jump in Chapter 4 is where you're fighting Ivy, and that is where you have to defeat her with a Soul Charge. I think it's the first time I implement that. Either that or I wasn't paying attention, was too over-leveled for it. But my first playthrough, which I'm still currently on, not just doing the story but trying to do everything, but it did take me around 20 hours, I think, to beat the story part of it. And now I'm just doing everything else, which is now I'm on like 30 or 35 hours or something like that. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. Thanks for all your comments. And again, if you want to see your comments in a future video, then just leave a comment below. And if I choose that video or choose that comment, then you'll see yourself on screen, and I will mention you by name. So it's a good way to get some exposure or to get someone to go back and respond to your comment on that prior video. So thanks again for watching, guys. And all the support you guys give is highly appreciated. And stick around for more content. And if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. And as always, guys, peace.